caused by immigrant parents. But first, let's get to know, who are you, Wannie?
Well, I am 25. I just recently relocated to Charlotte, North Carolina from Johnson City, Tennessee. I am a makeup artist. I also do hair. I've been working in the banking industry for about 5 years, and I'm currently in school seeking a bachelor's degree.
Okay. Bachelor's degree in what?
Public administration.
Public administration. Okay. Sounds good. But anyway, everybody, y'all already know your boy, Skinny Boy. Y'all already know I'm an engineer. Black engineer, to be exact. I'm 25. I currently reside in, I'm not telling y'all before y'all stalk me before I get famous and blow up. No, I'm kidding. I'm in Georgia. But the very first question I want to ask you, Wannie, very important question. Were you raised by both parents? And if not, how did that affect you?
So I was only raised by one parent. I was raised by my mother. She raised me and my two older brothers by herself. My dad was in the picture, but he wasn't very active. I think being raised by a single mother had a lot of effects on me, both positive and negative. But in general, I think that being raised by a single mother made me very independent, strong. She instilled in me how to be very feminine, self-reliant, self-sufficient. And there are some negative aspects to not having a father like in the household and around. Right. I will say mostly my dating life has been impacted by being raised by a single mother.
Okay. Where was your mom born?
My mom was born in Liberia, West Africa.
Okay.
Both of my parents were born in Liberia, West Africa.
Okay. And I know with her being born there, what I'm assuming education was something she tried to push. Am I right?
Oh, yes. I mean, if anything, it was go to school, so you get a good job. And it was go to school.
Same here. Like, my parents are still back. I think I really don't know where my dad's at right now. He might be in Monrovia, but both my parents are still back home. But there was something that my aunt always tried to instill into me, and that's education, school. There's like no other route but school. That's literally like all they know. So it's like, especially when it's just when both of your parents are there, it's like there's a weight put upon you, like you have to succeed. Like if you don't succeed, we're gonna die.
and a lot of it is these unspoken expectations, but they're there and you feel them and you know. Right.
And there's like no room to fail at all. Whereas you'll see your friends who are not of this culture, they could do whatever they want. They could do whatever they want, but the minute you try that, it's over. It's over. Let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. When did you actually start to rebel? Because I know for me, I can say I've started to. My aunt, when she would tell me something, I would do it just because I respected her. But then at some point, I'm like, you understand you're not always right. You're not always right. Like, I can be right sometimes.
African parents are always right.
So I guess, when did you start to actually think for yourself and be like, this lady isn't always right?
This is embarrassing because you said rebel and thinking for yourself, and I think those are kind of two different things.
Okay.
I would say I rebelled as far as my behavior when I moved to Tennessee, and I think it was 2014. I moved from Philly.
Yeah.
I hated it there. I hated it every single day I was there. So I think that motivated me to kind of rebel.
Hold on. Why did you hate
what
Tennessee?
You lived there. You know.
I know I lived it, but I want to hear from a girl's perspective. Why did you hate Tennessee?
I don't want to say too much without saying, you know,
too much.
But yeah,
right.
But to summarize, I didn't like it because one, it was way different from what I was used to. Like I said, from Philly, I was born and raised in Philly. It's a big city, huge, very diverse, lots of different people, different cultures you get to interact with, and a lot more opportunity in a bigger city. I moved to not just Tennessee, because it'd be one thing if we had moved to Nashville. You know, Memphis is kind of dangerous, but more like, you know, Philly. It would be one thing if we moved in one of those parts, but we moved to little old Johnson City.
There's nothing in Johnson City, everybody. Nothing.
Don't go there. It's like one of those places where you stop to get gas, not live. So wouldn't recommend. 0 out of 0. Okay, you were about to say what I think you're about to say.
Yes. It's a great spot for school. But okay. I don't see, if you're a young adult, it's not a place for you to start your life. Because I feel like there's so much more out there to explore that you don't want to stay there for the rest of your life. And for all you people who do stay in John City, we're not trying to bash you. That's not happening. We're just saying the city itself is like, it's pretty boring.
Yeah, no, please leave. A lot of them have not left.
Yeah.
Y'all need to leave and see other places and other things. And that's another thing that comes along with being there. There's a lot of small-minded people. And that isn't really a bad thing, but it's kind of like ignorance. And
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get back to how you was raised. And you was saying something about how your mom, she raised you to be strong. She raised you to be self-sufficient. I guess throughout your life, you used what she tried to instill into you. At what time did you begin to notice that, hey, you know what, this might be a problem?
Okay, yes, because we were on this, you know, talking about rebelling and thinking for yourself. So honestly, this is kind of embarrassing to say, but I don't think I started really thinking for myself and not needing that reassurance from her until maybe the last 2-3 years. And I am an adult.
Right. I mean,
I think that's another thing that comes along with having African parents. They want to control like everything, and then when you have
every
so much
aspect
respect,
of your life,
literally, you have so much respect and you hold them to a high regard. You want to respect their opinions and their wishes. And I had to get to a certain age, was like, what you said didn't work, so now we're going to do it my way.
Right. Man, listen, I remember I grew up with how many girls? I think like 3 girls and like a bunch. Yes, a lot, and a bunch of guys. But like, I was raised by 3 aunts, right? And they instilled in me, without trying to teach me, just how to respect girls, how to talk to them. But the one thing they never prepared me for, that these women for the streets are vicious. And if you continue to be Mr. Nice Guy, that bites you in the butt. And the trauma that was placed in my life was just, I didn't really know how much that affected me my whole entire life. I got so used to the degrading, the cussing, the for those of y'all African parents are hard on you, but
let's just add something, because I was having this conversation with somebody else. This is not exclusive to African parents. We're just speaking on our experience.
Yes. They are so hard on you, to the point sometimes you're like, do you even love me?
Do you want me to like run away?
but what's crazy? They'll talk good things about you with their friends. Oh, Wannie, she was amazing. Oh, Will, he was amazing. But the minute their friends go away, they love to brag on you. But when you're in their face, they're gonna step down all over you. And I guess, I guess, I think I know why though, because they come from a place where it's hard, and they were the first ones to come here, and they try to provide what they can, and they say, you know what, I don't want my daughter to go through this struggle. I don't want my son to go through this struggle. But they don't understand, like, yes, you need to be hard on your kids, but some of the things, it
was too much.
It just didn't make sense.
It was unnecessary.
What advice? Okay, the things that you have learned now, right? What grade would you give your mother for being able to raise a young lady like you? What now? I understand that she did the best that she could, but what grade from an A to an F would you give her that you thought that she could have done more, or you think that she did the best?
I'll give her a B- because she did a great job. I think, especially her being a single mother. But there's just little things that we could have did better. And it's like you said, these people are just coming to America. Better. This is what they know. So I'll minus.
Yeah. I think
I know yours is kind of tricky, but what would you give your aunt?
My aunt raised a village. She raised a village. You know, she really raised a village. I honestly, I would give her a C. I give her a C only because I feel like boys. You know what? No, I'll give her a C+ to a B. Minus, maybe?
Yeah.
Only because men, for some weird reason, we need a guy in our life, and I'm actually surprised I came out pretty well, only because of there was so many chances I could have went the wrong way. But I'll definitely give her a B because she worked and tried to do the best that she could do. And no, you're fine. And the one thing I wish I knew more about money. I wish I knew about credit at the time. But those are just the things that your parents don't have time for because they've got to support you. So those are things I wish were instilled into me at a young age. What about you? What do you think you wish you would have learned at an earlier age?
Well, for one, I feel like my mom was like overcritical of everything I did. And this goes back to, them just wanting to control everything. And I feel like her being so critical made me kind of like second guess a lot of decisions I make or that I made. So it made me look to her for answers or reassurance. And I wish and I know I said she made me very self-reliant and independent and stuff. And I meant that in a like financial way or just taking care of myself. But when it comes down to decision making and stuff like that, I just feel like I wish she would have just let me make more decisions for myself and let me mess up. And because I'm the last child on both sides. So I was very spoiled, coddled. She was very overprotective of me. And I feel like she monitored pretty much everything I did to make sure I was on track. Kind of overbearing. But I feel like I wish I would have been able to make my own mistakes.
Right. And do you think she was like that because um, you're a girl. Do you think if you was a boy, she would give you more room and freedom?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
I definitely feel like she was harder on my brothers.
Okay.
Especially when it came to the physical discipline. But I was a good kid, so I didn't really need to get, beat or whatever.
Yeah, them long whoopings.
True, child. I didn't have to deal with that. But
I
my
dealt
brothers,
with that every day. Yeah.
I feel like boys are just more difficult. Y'all are so hard-headed. Y'all are just, and y'all need some tough love sometimes. Y'all are just so difficult.
We do. Especially with me, man. I was always the one, like, I always ask why, and I'd love to talk back to prove my point. Man, I never forget, there was one day she tore me up. Because I always trying to prove a point. I'll be like, you know what? I know we don't have a lot of money, but why do you have a new car? Stuff like that. I was disrespectful. Like,
ask something like that.
I was disrespectful,
and I always this house.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And yeah. I lost my thought. There was something. No, it's good. I think with me being a guy, I think I had more she allowed me to do much more. But the thing is that I really love that she did do. I remember because for some reason I assumed I was going to get a car in college. I don't know what made me think that.
Johnson City made you think that.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
And then she was like, who said I was going to get you a car? She's like, matter of fact, I'm moving to Georgia. You want to come? I said, no, I don't want to come. So basically I had to learn how to decide everything on my own at that point, because I'm like, wow, so I'm just stuck here. I've got to find a car. I've got to find a job. I'm starting school. So it was like, I had more room, but for some reason, I feel like moms are more strict on, their girls.
I think both parents are more strict on their girls.
Yeah.
We can't do
You're
anything.
Right. Yeah. Let me see. It's
another thing my mom did to kind of control me or to stop me from being outside was moving to Tennessee. Let her tell it. She moved to Tennessee because, Philly was a lot and I was getting older. I moved when I was 16. So she noticed, I was going out and doing things. So she moved to Tennessee. Little did she know, Johnson City was way worse.
It's always the small town. It's always the small town when you don't expect anything.
Yeah.
What advice would you give the viewers on how you were not everything you've learned in life? What advice would you give for like young women, the do's and don'ts, the things to stay away from, based on how you were raised?
Well, like I said, I think my mom did a great job, especially with her doing it all by herself. Things that I would advise young women would be to respect yourself and respect your elders, even though they can be very annoying at times.
Yeah.
And it seems to be kind of crazy. They have a lot of wisdom, and sometimes you have to pick through what they're saying to find the important parts or the lesson. So respect yourself, respect your elders, and to be feminine. That's one thing I always encourage, is to be feminine. And I mean, that looks like different things for different people, but I think and that goes with respecting yourself in the same time. Like, what else can I say? Be independent, but also don't be afraid to ask for help.
Right.
Especially as a woman, because we can't do everything by ourselves, and God didn't place us on earth to do everything by ourselves. So we need to not be so egotistical and be able to ask for help when it's needed.
I like that. Do you think you're do you think you turned out to be like your mom, or
You know,
I had to
every once in a while I'll catch myself doing something or saying something, I'll be like, dang,
I'm just like
mom. Her. Yes.
I'm just like her, yeah.
I look like her. So not only do I look like her, but I have her mannerisms, and sometimes I'm like, this gotta go, it needs to stop. But yeah, I definitely turn into my mom.
Yeah, it is crazy because I asked you that question just because I remember my first year of college, and I remember I stayed with 4 grown men, dirty grown men. I walked in there and just started to wash the dishes. I called my aunt, listen, I was like, this needs to stop. This needs I'm turning into you. I was slaving in the kitchen, cooking everything. I said, what? I was like, yo, this needs to stop.
But see, that's one of the perks of being raised by somebody who did a good job with you, because now you can go out into the world and see, like, this is not acceptable.
Right. Man.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. Women. Sorry. What were you saying?
It's funny. I don't have any more questions for you. Do you have any questions for me before we end this podcast that you want to find out before we cut it?
Well, I want to kind of talk about, because I think I mentioned it earlier. But we were talking about, what we learned from our parents and stuff. Do you think how they, I guess, disciplined us can be perceived as abuse?
Yes, most definitely. But that's a funny line to draw, because our cultural background is not the same as where we're at, and I think our African culture can actually be how they discipline their kids as abuse to American standards. But most definitely there were some things that happened. I was like, yo, this is abuse, like straight up abuse. I'm calling the cops. Straight up abuse. And I don't think they don't know that too. I feel like, or no, it's not that they don't know, they don't care. If you're in my household, you are going to live by my instructions. Period. So
that helped you be a better person?
Do I think it? I think it messed me up in the beginning stages of my life. It messed me up, and as I got older, I started to think, and I was like, you know what? Although I was messed up, I was still able to heal from what I don't want to say endured. It kind of makes it sound like torture or something. Did it make me a better person? It made me respect. But I feel like there's more ways that someone can respect another person without. It might be fear. It might just be fear. It might, like, I was afraid of my I was afraid of my aunt. I will never forget when my school had called my aunt. All she said, "I'll take care of it." I said, "Yo, get this. Y'all don't understand what those words mean. Those words mean I'm about to tear him up." I'm about to tear him up. But yeah, maybe fear. I don't know. Abuse, yes, but it's funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I think like I said, I wasn't like a bad kid per se, so I don't think I got as many beatings as my brothers did. But I definitely am thankful that I got beat because spare the rod, spoil the child. And I feel like
Yes.
it definitely helped shape me as an individual. And I feel like respect and fear can kind of go hand in hand. So yeah, it teaches you how to respect your parents and also your elders, because when it comes to Africans, you know, your aunts, your uncles, your play aunts or whatever, your mom's friends, they could be
yeah, man,
then it's not a problem.
Right. Totally understand. There's one thing I do want to say to all my young men out there. If there's one advice I could give you in life, I've said it before many times, learn to adapt. As a man, you must be able to survive in this world, and don't make excuses for why you're back in life. Just try and improve. It's not a race. That's one thing I learned during school. You know, it took me 6 years to finish school, and I saw my friends, they finished in 4 years, and that hurt. But I learned to just, everything in life takes time. It takes time, and please do not try to believe everything you see on social media. Think for yourself. Yes. As you can see, this is a lovely Black individual, young woman, educated and gorgeous. And I may think that she might just have a crush on me, but we'll save that for another day. But
you trying to get me in trouble?
Whatever. But I'm glad we had this talk. I'm glad this is something we was able to discuss. And this will be one of many more podcasts that we have. Oh, please tell everyone your channel, so they can go and view and subscribe.
Yes. Your viewers are probably not going to be interested in what I have going on, but
a young girl could watch this also. You never know. You never know.
So my channel is Wannie Mai, WANNIEMAI. You can find me on all my socials pretty much at Wannie Mai, except for TikTok. TikTok is I am Wannie Mai.
Okay.
And I make beauty and lifestyle content. I also cook a lot on TikTok, so yeah, follow me.
Oh, she could cook too. Awesome. All right, Wannie, I want to tell you thank you for being my first podcaster. Is that even a word? Thanks for being. But yeah, I appreciate it. And we would definitely have to we will have to do this again. And I hope you have a good night. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. I can't wait for the next one. I really appreciate you for letting me come on your platform. I see you doing big things. I just hope that you keep going. I wish you the best. You make great content, and I love the fact that you're doing it for young men. And yeah, so just keep doing what you're doing. Proud of you.
Appreciate it.
He used to help me with my homework in high school. Let me just throw that out there. My math homework. He is so smart. I'm proud of you, fam.
You gotta stop gassing me up, man.